A bit about me, I am a mother of two little girls, and I, the way I got into this work has been, it's been a lifetime coming, but when I was with my ex and my two kids, and I had all of this pressure, we were in an apartment, we weren't making a lot of money, I was working at a brewery, my partner was trying to find a career to make real money, and so he left his passion to get into a job that he hated, and I can feel that energy, as well as having two young children. This was about 7 years ago, and I just started feeling really bad, and I also started feeling not a lot. So I had no control over my eating habits. Growing up, I was bulimic and anorexic for a little bit, and I have since, I had, when I'm talking about, I was, everything was in control except my overeating. I was an emotional eater. And then I used alcohol to numb, I used drugs to numb, I used sex to numb. But for a long time in my relationship with my ex, I really felt nothing, and I was very numb. I didn't want to have sex. I wasn't feeling sensual about myself or about anybody else or about just, I couldn't feel myself. I couldn't feel my body anymore. I had tapped out. And I felt something was wrong, so I went to the doctor, and they found carcinoma in my thyroid. And from that moment on, that really shifted my beliefs of healthcare. They wanted me to take my thyroid out because I had a tumor, cancerous tumor on one side, and my mom had gone through that. So I said no. And instead, I went through yoga teacher training, and I started eating extremely clean foods. And I started reading a bunch of books, and I started feeling better. And my tumor started shrinking. And from then, I just kept growing. And it got to the point where I was still numb in my pussy. Like, I didn't want my ex to touch me. It got to the point where he wanted to leave me. And he kept threatening to leave me multiple times. Finally, I said, you know what? I'm done with the threats. I'm leaving, which was a super scary time for me. I was working part-time at a brewery. I had two young kids. I had a dog and a cat in this apartment. I didn't have enough money to, buy a house or anything. But I left while he was at work one day and moved in with my good friend for a little bit. And then I was able to find a house with another single mom, did that for a little bit. And then I bought an RV or travel trailer. And my girls and I and my cat lived in that for 2.5 years, which was quite an adventure. And during that time, I was really finding myself. I had yoga behind me, but I still didn't respect my body. Like, I was sleeping with a lot of men. I started dating a married man, like, no respect for myself. And he kept giving me all these promises that, did I know deep down, they would not be fulfilled? Yes, but I was hanging on as hard as I could. And, so sex, drugs, alcohol, overeating, still. This was after yoga. This was after I left my ex. I was still finding myself. And then, what happened? Life. Oh, then my married man that I had been dating for 2 years, dumped me because I met another man at a coffee shop, and he was a fishing guide, and he asked if I wanted to go fishing with him. Sweet little me, I was like, this isn't a date. He just wants to, I just want to go fishing. I want to learn some fishing skills. And when my married man found out, he was so fucking pissed and he dumped me, which was the best decision of my life, him dumping me. I mean, thank goodness. I needed a slap in the face. And after that, things started snowballing in a good direction. I started dating the man that I met at that coffee shop. And I started traveling with him a lot. And then he asked me to move in with him. And I started living in a house with my kids. And we had this family dynamic. And then I found, randomly online, I found this workshop called Empowered and Embodied, and that was my first taste of so many things. The feminine, like I'd never heard of feminine and masculine energy. It was my first taste of empowerment, embodiment, sisterhood, how we're connected with our moon cycles. So many things. My mind was lit. And this was a 3-day workshop, and by the end of it, I was hooked, and I claimed that this is my work. I need to help women find this. I need to let women know there's something more than all of the numbing that we subject ourselves to. There's more than losing our power and letting other people make our decisions for us and waiting for other people to make our decisions for us. There is more. There's so much more. And I was still trying to do the yoga thing. I was still working in a brewery, but right then I started having vivid dreams about, I need to start this business. And the name came to me in a dream. And I didn't have a lot of money, and I was using all my savings up, and I just started following my intuition and my feelings, like, this is the right way. This is what I need to be doing right now. Women need to hear this.